Now let us understand a little bit about characteristics and architecture of a cloud computing, because we know that a characteristic and architecture of cloud computing is the main thing which we want to understand. So now any cloud computing has a very basic characteristic. First is that broad network access. What it means is that it is easily accessible and available over internet. So broad network access means it is easily available over internet, over mobile phone, over tablet, or any other computing services, computing device which is connected to internet. So that is what is the most important thing. So always remember, and this is available over from anywhere in the world. Your cloud computing services should be available from any part of the world, from any device connected to internet, and that's what called broad network access. On-demand self-service. What is this? What it means is that whenever you need additional computer, additional RAM, additional CPU, any other service, you don't have to interact with somebody physically, any person of the cloud computing service provider. You can just go to their website and yourself you can take those services and use it. You don't have to sign a form, get into agreement every time you need additional infrastructure or additional service. It is self-service. So what is most important? You can just log into their website and do all of the utilize or use all of those cloud computing services yourself just by going to their website. This is called rapid elasticity. What does it mean? Rapid elasticity is very important, and we'll see that in the next one. Resource pooling. Rapid elasticity means the up and down should be very quickly. Resource pooling. Resource pooling means that lot of resources have been combined together so that it gives a availability of large number of resources which can be rented and shared for a short duration period and then released for somebody else to use it. So that is called resource pooling. Massive scale. What massive scale means that there is a large number of low commodity or low cost hardware which has been pulled together so that you can scale very quickly, automated way in the cloud computing, and we'll see that next. Measured services. This is very important. This is like a utility computing. Measured means how many hours you use the service, how much data transfer you have used, how much hard disk you have used, how much CPU you have used. All of this can be measured and then can be billed to you as per your usage. So that is the basic high level characteristic of cloud computing. Now rapid elasticity we can just cover one more time. Rapid elasticity, what it means is, let us assume that you are doing some work in the cloud and that cloud is requiring one box for your work. Now suddenly after 1 hour you are going to need 10 new boxes. How do you do that? Now rapid elasticity means that within fraction of minute or second, whatever is your requirement, cloud computing is ready to serve you without any manual intervention in a real time. So what that is called rapid elasticity, very fast and very elastic. Now later after you are done with your, let us assume you have 10 computer and you need 100 more, so 110 computer. After 1 day, let us assume that now you need only 10 computer. You can release those 100 computers immediately again in a fraction of seconds, and you will not be billed for those 100 computers after that point. So that is called rapid elasticity. You can increase or decrease the usage of those cloud computing services very quickly and in an automated way. So how does a cloud computing architecture looks like? So basically cloud computing architecture by any company, whether it is by Amazon, whether it is by Google, whether it is by Microsoft, looks like this. So there is a small cloud computing middleware, there are a lot of resources. This is called cloud computing data center. The whole thing is called cloud computing data center. Okay, so this is a data center will look like for cloud computing. Now here, what in the typical data center looks like, there will be few services which are the software, some storage, hard disk kind of a thing, some network features and operating system. All of these will be provided, and on top of that, lot of softwares has been written to provision all of this to the end user in a very automated way. So network provisioning, operating system provisioning, storage, services apps provisioning, and SLA monitor. Now all of these are a part of the data center. It is like, example, it could be that this is one of the data center of Amazon, and this is called internet. So this is the internet through which the user will access the cloud computing services. The people who are going to access this cloud computing services, they can be individual, corporations, non-commercials, or other kind of education institutions. So this is at a very high level looks like the architecture of cloud computing. What are the benefits of cloud computing? There are a lot of benefits of cloud computing. First, let us see the data center view. So in a typical data centers, they are notoriously underutilized and often idle 85% of the time. What it means is that these data centers, you have to buy a computer, 2 or 3 computer, and whether you use it or not, you have to keep paying for that. And there is, if you want to reduce or increase, it will take you months or at least couple of days, couple of weeks or a month, and then only, and even after that, it is very difficult to reduce and increase as you need or as you want. So what happens is that most of the time in the data center, companies, whatever they need, they buy more than that, so that in case the demand or requirement suddenly increases, they are not in trouble. So that problem they solve that way, but it creates other problem that by doing that, all these data center systems are underutilized, most of the time idle 85% of the time. So now think about, if a particular processor and a RAM is only used in the daytime and not used in the night time, you are basically effectively utilizing only 50% of the resource. But what happens if in the daytime somebody else use, night time somebody else use, then it is much more optimal utilization of their hardware resources. But in data center it is not possible, which is possible only if you have cloud computing, because in cloud computing same physical resources can be utilized by multiple purpose, by multiple people for multiple purpose at a different point of time. Elastic capacity. What elastic capacity we have just discussed about. In cloud computing, what happens is that, let us assume you need for something computing very expensive, you need 5 computers or you need 6 computers, but suddenly you realize that tomorrow I need 20 computers. Then this is very elastic and you can automate it or set it up, or it will take just 1 or 2 click. Within a minute or second you will get 20 more computers. After 2 days, if you don't need those 20 additional computers, you can just make few click and those 20 computers will be gone and you will not be charged for those 20 computers. What it means is that depending on your requirement, you can utilize that very fast automated way without manual intervention, and that is what is called elastic capacity of cloud computing. This is just a prediction of the infrastructure need. So what happens is that, think about this one. We are thinking that our usage will increase like this. It will increase, then it might decrease, and then it will increase, then it will decrease. This is what happened. But actually what happened is, the customers were not using like this. They did not use it for quite some time. And then suddenly it started picking up. And when it started picking up, it started picking up very, very fast speed. Now first, in this area, you have wasted the complete resource. And then in the later area, you have lack of resource. Now, it is very difficult to predict how much you will need going over in next 1 year. But if you can use the cloud computing, it is much easier to automate and configure and run so that it will scale automatically. And cloud computing services these days does not even require 1 click or 2 click. You can automate the complete scaling and descaling system and configure it properly. Second benefit is faster time to market. What it means is that if you are thinking about some big ideas or a product or something, you can avoid to set up your own internal IT support team, own internal lab, own internal servers or anything, all of these things. You can just focus on your business idea and do the complete development, testing, hosting the server in the cloud for a small period of 1 month or 2 months to validate your idea. And if it looks successful, you can go big. Otherwise, for a small cost of few hundred dollars or for a couple of weeks, you can test everything in the cloud and put it into the market. So going to the market becomes very fast and easy. As we said, no initial investment. What it means is that if I need to develop a software which will require computing 20 computers for 40 hours, now if cloud computing was not there, I had no option but to buy all of them, and after 2 days or 3 days, I will be selling it back at half of the price, which is a huge loss. So instead of that, what you could do is that you could go to cloud computing, and without any initial investment for large server and system, you can rent it per hourly basis and just use it and then forget it. So cloud computing also helps you that no initial investment is required. Pay as you go, pay for what you use. So if there are 10 different services, I want to use 3rd and 4th for today, tomorrow I will use 5th and 6th. So every hourly basis for every services you can pay, and there is no fixed and standard amount that everything you have to pay irrespective of how much you use. So it is purely a utility model. Utility model means whatever you use, just pay for this. That's it. Fifth and last benefit is focus on your business. So once the complete IT support, IT lab, infrastructure, buying the server, getting the network administrator, getting the internet bandwidth, putting the security servers, firewall, routers, DNS, switches, all of that problem is gone. Now what you could do is that just focus on your business and let all of that be taken care by somebody else. And that is what cloud computing does. So cloud computing will take care of all those pain points and problems, and you can